everybody, and welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and now I'm deep into my vacation at this point, I'm sure, and I obviously am enjoying that with my family. So, I miss you guys, though, and I can't wait to be back. It's going to be soon at this point, and today I'm going to send you to a classic episode, 108. I know there's a lot of viewers that have joined us in the last 50 or so episodes, so I don't think that a lot of you have caught this. 108 is very special to me because it's coming after a huge Jets victory, and you can see me in a very rare form. And what's this in front of me, you ask? Well, this is very interesting. This is the Chateau Changai Castel Cabernet Gerstenschmidt 1995. Now, Cabernet Gerstenschmidt is a very interesting varietal that's produced from France hundreds of years ago. And this is from the Shandong province in China. And China is, making a big name for itself. So I'm really excited about trying this 95 vintage. And we're going to give this a whirl. It's got some nice color. And so sit back and enjoy this episode.
Hi, my name is Tony, and welcome to another episode of Wine Library TV with your host, Gary Vaynerchuk.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wine Library TV. I'm your host, Gary Vaynerchuk. That's right, GVWLTV, big win for the New York Jets. 23-17. I just missed it. You know what that would have meant? Free shipping for your life. Sorry, you missed out. But the Jets did win, and that means there is free shipping. And the free shipping code is going to come a little bit later in the show. So, my concept for today's show is the wines that I would have drank if they were in my apartment to celebrate with. I'm doing a show today, figuring a lot of people are going to take me up on the free shipping offer, going to give me a chance to express some of the things I've been drinking. Really going to lead into today's question of the day, which I'm going to shoot at you right now. What are the last 5 wines that you've adored, that you really love? I've got mine on display today, so I think you're going to enjoy it. So, big day for the Jets. I mean, everybody's happy in Jetland, especially me. I don't want to take credit for the Jets win, but I did not go yesterday to the Jets game. That's right, did an in-house party, broke it up. I didn't go because we lost our first 2 home games. Now I'm more than happy that I can go back next week and watch the Lions get destroyed. I know there's a couple Lion fans on the Jets board, so we'll see how that goes. On the Wine Library TV board, not the Jets board. But this is kind of like the Jets board. Anyway, 5 wines today. My favorite 5 that I've had recently for many different reasons, and 5 is my favorite number. What's your favorite number? Many questions of the day. All right, this is a very interesting wine. This is a Colli Canisi from a very small producer called Vitai. It's a very small producer and very inexpensive. I had this a few weeks ago, and I got to tell you, it is a remarkable Chianti. It's like $7. And you know what? We're all looking for that kind of wine. I figure there's a lot of people there on an everyday price budget out there that want to take advantage of free shipping. $7 and free shipping? Are you kidding me? I mean, it's going to be a real opportunity. And so let's hope it tastes like it did a few weeks ago. I'm talking about pasta and pizza. We had the Luciaio the other day that we liked a lot, the Piovano. It's coming with that great nose again. And this is what I loved about the wine the first time I had it. Really ripe cherry, really explosive nose. It's got very small hints of black pepper, but they're there. Yep. This is a killer wine. Wow, I really like this wine. As a matter of fact, and maybe it's because I'm in a good mood, it's not. This one's just an out-and-out steal. There's so much cherry in this that it masks most of the flaws that Chiantis in this price range have, which a little too bitter, a little too alcoholic. I'm getting very little heat. There is some tannins, but it's structure. There's a little bit of bitterness. I mean, what are you going to really expect from a $7 wine? It's not an $80 Super Tuscan, but very smooth, delicious. It's got nice flavors, a little bit of vegetal tone on the finish, which I like, but really, this is a fruit wine. This is not extremely old world Chianti, and for $7, this is an out-and-out steal. I still think what I thought the other day, which is that this is an 89-point wine, and for $7, I'm going to tell you, This is way up there. And with free shipping, this is an amazing wine to have around the house. I'm adoring this wine, and this is one of my 5 best wines I've had in the last couple months. Great job, Vitae. All right, Mahoney, Carneros Pinot, Las Brisas Vineyard, 2003. Really, really small producer. I stumbled across these guys at a dinner. I didn't know what to order. I was in the mood to try something new. I never had this before. Sure enough, I loved it, and we ordered it for the store. And it's $28, no press, no ratings yet, but very, very, very interesting Pinot Noir producer from Carneros. Unlike the Vitae, which I've had now 3 or 4 times, this is only the second time I'm having this, so this is a little bit more of a crapshoot. But I really enjoyed this last time. Pinot Noir, $30, which is a good price. Dark Pinot. I mean, you know, really, really dark Pinot. By color, pretty shocking. Classic Pinot Noir nose. A little bit of burnt tire on the nose, you know, just like skidding out. You know, you get that little smell from the tire. I get a little bit of that. I'm also getting really, really dark cherry again. A different kind of cherry, more of a dark, you know, cherry that come in the jars, you know, and you put in your drinks, more so than the dry cherry that I had on the Chianti. It's a big, big Pinot Noir. I mean, really rich, completely coats my palate. Can really taste the oak in this Pinot, which, you know, for some people is not the best thing that ever happened. There's a little more alcohol in this wine than I remember last time. It's a solid bottle of Pinot Noir. A little bit less on this than I was the first time. Let me just sip it again. This comes down to simple practicality. This is a Pinot Noir to have with food, or more importantly, put away for 7 to 10 years. The tannins are really, really obvious here. Real firm grip on my palate. Getting a lot of flavor. It's coating my palate immensely. Very rich, but a little hot. Get a little bit of heatness, and almost like the flavor is a little burnt on the finish now. It's falling apart a little bit for me, and I've got to say I'm a little bit surprised and extremely disappointed, especially out of all the wines I could have brought out. I really don't know if it was a food and wine pairing the last time I had it. I'm trying to remember what I had with it. But I really can't sit here and say I adore this wine. So I'm going to have to go 88 points and really, you know, awkwardly tell you this is a pass. Okay. This is the Vescovo Lucaio 2002. This is 90-point Spectator and $18. Super Umbrian wine. 45% Merlot, 40% Cab, 15% Sangiovese. If you remember, I think just last episode, we did the Piovano, the $10 wine, which I completely adored. Well, this is the big brother, the Super Blend. Great color. And this is just a winery continues to impress me. 90-point Spectator, $18 for an Italian blend of this mix is really interesting. Very, very, very dark color. Wow. And yeah, I remember this from the other time as well. These have only been open for about an hour this time, so not as much time as I'd hoped. But this nose comes off like I'll tell you exactly what I think the analogy here that we need to make is, imagine the combination smell of dirty feet being cleaned by soap. So like that exact moment when you're actually, if you clean your feet that way with the soap, I mean, that's what this smells like. I've got a very stinky, dirty sock smell, and then I got a very much real obvious like soap, like Dove soap smell. It's almost like inside this wine they're trying to clean itself. So it's kind of very awkward. The nose is extremely intriguing, and I wouldn't call it appealing. Man, this is so up my alley. This is going to be an interesting wine. I will tell you right now that 45% of the people watching this episode should probably not buy this wine. This is extremely dry, but I love that. I mean, bone dry, like a bone dry martini. You know, this is really, really dry, very dry. Maybe the single most dry wine I remember tasting on Wine Library TV. But what you're left with is an enormously silky, polished bottle of wine that I absolutely adore, and huge mouthfeel, and that's awesome, and an amazing partner in crime. And what I mean by that is this wine, and I've had it time and time again, is obnoxiously flexible with food. You want to go with something big, you want to go with something light. It's just like, it's like a gel that just molds perfectly into your food pairings. Fish or big meats, I've enjoyed this wine with both combos. I've been drinking a lot of this wine. It had to make the show, and once again, it's even drier than I even remember it for some reason. Maybe once again with the food pairing, but this is an excellent bottle of wine. Crazy nose every time. The polished flavor of plum meeting tobacco in this wine is so unique and interesting and very, very appealing on the palate. It's just that dryness scares me, but I'm definitely going to go 90 points on this, and I'm going to call it a major buy because it will also last for 5 or 7 years. I think a lot of things will evolve. I think it will get less dry, the fruit will come out more, and I think the nose will change as well. And so long term, this wine has major potential to be even more special. 2003 Chateau Haute Gardere from the Paysac, which is this is a Cab and Cab Franc with a little bit of hint of Merlot blend. We don't have the exact numbers. The winery was unable to get back to me this morning, but you know the gist of the blend. And more importantly, this is a classic 2003 Bordeaux, very hot vintage. You might remember 91 points. Wine Spectator, $26, which is an absolute bargain for Bordeaux. And I've been serving this lately, and I've been enjoying it lately. These dirty rocks mixed with fruit salad that this nose gives me is just so appealing. I mean, right off the bat, I'll be honest with you, this nose alone is worth $26 to me. I'm a huge fan of this wine. You know, it's so fun to do wines that I've already known, you know, and so that's why I kind of treated myself from the big victory. You know, before I get into this wine, as I let it breathe, I just want to mention a couple things. Number one, Tony, great intro. You saw Tony intro me today again. Guys, keep them coming. I'm getting some good videos. I need more, though. I don't even have enough to get through the week, so people have to step up. I need some more videos. Also, and I've got to really mention this, I have to send out a huge shout-out, and what I'm going to do something special for all these people. I've been getting an enormous amount of love on people's blogs, people writing us up and telling people about Wine Library TV. I want to reciprocate. We're definitely going to do something cool. So maybe next week or 10 days, I'm going to do a I Love the Bloggers episode. So all you people who do have blogs, who've put links or stories about Wine Library TV, please personally email me and tell me which wine you want me to taste on Wine Library TV. Maybe we could do something cool like that. So that could be a lot of fun. But really, it's extremely humbling and very thankful. It's been really fun seeing those go up, and they're great stories. A lot of you are amazing writers. Yeah, this is just, you know, and this is why I stalled a little and brought up some of these things. This wine opens up like, boom, like right off the bat. It's just like opening up a flower. You know, have you ever seen those videos where they show you like the skyline change and go from like the day to the night, or like something grow, you know, like the Discovery Channel? That's what this wine makes me think about, because it's so quick how it goes from a tight rock to a beautiful flower of pleasure and flavor. I mean, it's just so cool. Yeah, and this is just so aromatic. You know, I'm getting a wild blend of, on the nose of lilac, meaning plum and mango. It's just really exotic and very intriguing, really draws you in. It's a seductive nose is what I'm looking for. Yeah. Spectator missed the boat on this. This is better than a 91.1. It really is. This is like going to Back to the Future, like time machine time, because Bordeaux should not taste like this at $26 anymore. This reminds me more of the 90s and back in the 1990 vintage where you could get world-class wine for $26. I'm a huge fan of this wine. It is a little, you know, New World Bordeaux because the 03 vintage was so hot in Bordeaux, but this is a very nice wine. Very explosive. Mouth flavor is just polished and silky and smooth and delicious and everything you could possibly want. I'm going 92 plus points on this, with the caveat that I think this could even be a 93 or 94 point wine if cellared for 5 to 7 years. This is an absolute steal, and this is definitely belonging in this. This is awesome. This is a nice wine. Very good. I like that wine. Definitely get on board. All right, switching glasses, because I'm going to really bring out the wine that's probably stunned me more than anything. And this comes from our Spanish trip. You remember I went to Spain 60 episodes ago. This is the La Cueva del Contador. And this is a very, very controversial wine to me, because it's a $75 bottle of wine. And really, it should be a $100 bottle of wine. But on top of that, it scored 92 points from Robert Parker. And I think Parker does a great job in Spain, and it's the 2003 vintage. But the 4 or 5 bottles I've had so far this year, I just don't see how he scores things like the Clio and those other things, 97, 96, 98 points. And this only a 92. So let's see if this still goes the way I've been thinking it's been going. I don't know if it is. I don't know if it's Rioja that's throwing it off. He doesn't score them as high. But this is a 14% alcohol wine, and I got to be honest with you, this nose is just like pure heaven. I mean, this really smells like clouds in heaven mixed with butterflies, unicorns, and Jets Super Bowl victories. I mean, this is like everything you want in a nose. On a realistic level, this is candied flavored nose. It's very strawberry. It's very black currant, but it's really obvious Twizzlers are involved. Red Twizzlers, not black, so it's not licorice. It's more like that. Just dynamite nose. I mean, just so rich on the nose. He just missed this. There's just no way. It's very dry, sour cherries on the finish. I mean, like boatloads, wagon loads, wheelbarrow loads of sour cherry on the finish that is completely either tricking me or is doing something to my palate that just makes me adore this wine. It's that whole sweet and sour aspect that I love. Tons of fruit, that New World Clio and El Nino and all those other things we talk about, but then the structure, the backbone of a great classic Cheval Blanc, and then really finishes with this awesome sour cherry flavor, black currants popping every which direction. This wine is made for me. Sometimes there's just that, you know, whether it's your partner in life or your favorite football team or that meal that nobody else gets, there's certain wines that are just made for you. This wine's made for me. 96 points. And you know what? It deserves higher, but it's like so like, I just so shocked that Parker, who I really respect in high-end Spain, went only 92. I just don't see it. This wine's awesome. You know what? 97 points. I have to, because it's, you know, listen, you might think it's 81, and I'm not telling you to buy it, because $75 is a big investment. But you know what? This show's about my thoughts, and that's what I think. I mean, this is a wine I want to go out on a limb on, because I just adore it that much. And this wine will last for 20 years easy, and I should have at least 7 or 8 Super Bowls by then. So, let's get to the questions. Joe P. says, Gary, have you ever hated a wine and then tasted at a later date the very same vintage and enjoyed it, excluding a cork bottle, of course? Joe P. Great question, and the answer is yes. I've absolutely had wines, I wouldn't say hated, that I was disappointed with, or more importantly, this was a monkey wrench for today. I mean, I adored this Pinot and bought a lot of this wine because I loved it. It had no press. There's no reason this wine would sell at $30. Nobody's really heard of this wine. But here we are today, and it just didn't do it for me. I don't know if it was the atmosphere then or now, but, you know, it's a clean bottle. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just clear to me, you know, that this is not something profound and something I should be recommending as one of the 5 best wines I've had lately. So, you know, absolutely, wine varies, and that's why this show's tricky, and that's why scores are tricky, and that's why everything is tricky when it comes to wine. And you know, I've said this 100 times. Don't listen to me, don't listen to Parker, don't listen to Spectator. Listen to yourself, trust yourself, try different things, but most importantly, be aware. Atmosphere, your food pairing, your mindset, a lot of things can have a factor in what you think about the wine. And that classic is the trip to Italy. Everybody comes back, I went to Italy, and the house wine they made, it so out of buckets. It was only $1, and it was amazing. It wasn't that amazing. You were with your family, you were having a great time, you were relaxed on vacation, probably eating great food, and the wine, just one of those experience things. So, to answer your question, absolutely, and multiple times. But I wouldn't say things went from imaginary 75s to 80 to 95 point scores or vice versa. They're in the realm, but definitely. K. Spengler says, Gary, good luck with those Jets this weekend. Didn't need it. Didn't need it, baby. Dirty fish. They had a little run at the end, but you know what? They went to where they had to. Hey, Matty Van, how's Buffalo doing, buddy? Talked a lot of crap early on in the season. You lost to the Lions. I better not say that. We played the Lions this week. Anyway, I'd be interested in finding any Pinot Grigio that doesn't taste like the rest. Any suggestions? It's a great question. We're going to do a Pinot Grigio episode once because there are some profound Pinot Grigios. Every time we get them, they kind of sell out in 2 seconds. But, it's one of those things where, I don't know. I mean, it's a very tricky category, and I agree with you. Liz V says, I vote for Madison to replace GV. What do you think? Madison was very cute, Liz. You want her to replace me? You want her to replace me as the host? Or do you want me to replace me as your husband? Let's see Madison take you to Jean-Georges on Saturday night. Huh? I'm the good guy, aren't I? Madison, you are great, and one day you can replace me if you'd like. So, question of the day. I've given you my 4 favorites from the last couple of months. What are your 4 favorites? We'll see you next time on WLTV. And this is Gary Vaynerchuk saying, Jets are 3-3. We'll see you in the Super Bowl.